Hey everybody. It's a nice Saturday morning here in the Pacific Northwest. Hello. How's it going, John? All right. How's everybody doing? Yeah, these few people have shown up. I really appreciate it. I've got the first donation from the one. Thank you very much. Yes, it's me. I sometimes stream every 3 months. Hopefully, I'm not too scuffed today. Right? Uh, Not normally one to do this, but I just like show up here and hang guys with. Your mother turned 50 today. Happy birthday to your mother. Hello, Flash. How are you doing? Um, uh, yeah, happy birthday to you. 50 is that's a milestone. Never get never get older though. At some point, and I told my boys this, but at some point your age becomes like a bragging right, you know? When you turn 80, you'll be like one of those dudes like, I remember back in the day when we didn't have all this stuff and you guys are so damn spoiled, and stuff like that. So uh so hello Sohan Syria. Thank you again for the one for doing very generous. Um Flash Gabe X Media. Is that how you say your name? And John Lindsay. Thank you guys for being here. Definitely uh awesome guys. See how it goes. This is actually earlier in the day for streaming. I think the last time I tried this, like both of the times that I tried this beforehand, it was basically in the afternoon on the Northwest. But the problem with the Pacific Northwest is that obviously you're basically behind almost everybody except for Hawaii, right? In Europe, it's nighttime already. In New York City, it is lunchtime, and here it's barely after breakfast. I cooked myself breakfast about an hour ago, so it goes. Um, I wanted to hang out and also kind of do an overview. Hey, Jungle J, how's it going, man? Uh, Good to see you. I see you a lot. Also, Jungle J is a patron. You hope you guys. Hey, Jungle. Just your opinion. When I do music, and I have that overlay showing you guys' names, is that all right for you guys? I want to like for somebody who's doing music, my imagination of how to use Instagram is no. I don't listen to. I don't live in New York. I live in like near Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, just north of Seattle. And but I know the time differences. I've lived in the East Coast. I'm doing really good, Jungle. It's been I'm always really busy. I've got job, a life, got other things that I like to do. Like now that everything's opened up, you gotta go and work out and stuff like that, and um, enjoy life. Obviously, I've had a job as well, so gotta uh, kind of balance everything out. And making music is actually one of the things that I do. And not necessarily the most exciting thing, dream. I've learned. But we're not. I don't know if we're gonna try to make an actual track today. But what we are gonna do is we are going to try to do an overview of one of the things I've gotten for the music. Uh, hey, thank you again. Thank you again, the one. Uh, super. These donation things are like, I don't know what they mean, but obviously, you appreciate the support. Okay, so is there anything you guys want to try out before I kind of launch into this? The video is titled Shuriken because I've got a thing to show you, which is kind of um I'm happy with it. Every time I listen to new music, I awesome. Yeah. It's I try to keep that list updated too, just to make sure that everybody is included that actually is on the Patreon. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been kind of a change in the music this year. Last year was pretty but one of the things that I did notice is that every time I tried to go for like, natural guitars and things like that, it wasn't quite up. You know what I mean? Like, I have like plugins with West that basically they can simulate, clean guitars and distorted guitars. And the distorted guitars were decent, in my opinion. But uh, you know, in comparison to what I'm doing right now, uh, granted, I'm not the most prolific, the best player quite yet in terms of like guitar playing, but I feel like the natural guitars actually sound completely. It's like 100% improvement. My honest opinion. Again, I'm not a shredding god yet by any stretch of the way. I'm practicing a lot because like it's actually really enjoyable to play again. But the clean in particular the clean guitars that I had, like I could kind of like mimic the act of like strumming a chord or something like that. But it was not it sounded robotic and everything that I did kind of did not work to basically fix that. So I basically just bought a guitar. I bought a Gretsch like 4 months ago, and I really like that Gretsch. And the reason why I bought a Gretsch, let me actually get that before I actually get this thing. Oh, all right. Heard this with quite a few songs so far. It's a Gretsch. Um, and the reason why I bought it is because in my mind it provided a lot of like versatility in the music. It looks really pretty too, doesn't it? It the unibody, and it's a thin line it's a thin line acoustic, I guess you could say, which means like it's open. It's got these F holes that are basically open into that body, so it provides kind of like a compromise between um, the hardness of like a solid body guitar and like a full acoustic body. Hey Adam, how are you guys doing? Um, so yeah, this has been in quite a few things. It's really good at grunge. Like Grunge Beauty 2 was actually really good. This was the one that basically played that. Um Let me get one more thing. All right. Also heard this one. It's a Dano Electric baritone. Um, Baritone basically is a guitar that got a longer scale. Concept is that you're playing lower notes. It works well with certain types of metal. This is not a metal guitar. I've tried it. It's at best hard rock, everything like that. But it works really well with like certain forms of like blues and country. So you'll see more of this one right here in kind of like less harsh like music. You know, not so much metal, but you know, some like relaxing music, even though it's like lower. But yeah, got that. Okay. I do have a 7 string back there. I just bought it yesterday. I don't know why I bought all these guitars all of a sudden, but I guess with the four that I've got right now, let me show you the Schecter real quick. Let me get it. All right. So this is the Schecter. You've not heard it yet, and it's a 7 string. Uh, got an active pickup, which is actually powered by a 9-volt battery. So I'll be experimenting around with this fairly soon. Like, you want to know like the inspiration to play practice. You spend the money, and then that's inspiration to have it not go to the waste. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put this back now. Yeah, it does look pretty good. The thing that I like most about it, it's a unibody, and this neck cut is like super smooth. You see that? It is like, it is nice. I don't know why it matters so much, but like you can see that it's straight flush with the body of the guitar. I'm not quite as good at playing 7 string. I'm pretty messy at it right now, so I need to practice on it quick. So let me put this back because one thing I need to get is actually right here next. Okay, so star of the show is this. It's a line 6 Shuriken. So for those of you who don't follow guitars, Line 6 is a company that basically invented amp modeling, which is the ability for one processor to mimic a number of amplifiers that are super expensive. So you would have to be a millionaire to basically afford all of these amplifiers, right? And so they actually kind of like were the ones to invent the amplifiers, and then they went on to kind of actually do the same thing with the guitars. Because let's be honest, like I showed you all those guitars, but really those are kind of like midline guitars that are, you know, they kind of cost a little bit, but um like in order to afford like the super nice guitars, you have to like pay like thousands of dollars. basically to afford them, right? A Les Paul, for instance, like some of those Les Pauls can actually like cost up to $5,000. Let me actually get some of the Les Pauls and Fenders. If you really wanted to spend money for like the nice ones and stuff like that, or like some of the vintage ones, they go for like $5,000, which is, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. This one right here, uh, it goes retail for about 1,200 new. I got this actually used, so I got a little bit of a discount on. Pretty much brand new. So I just kind of wanted to go over what it can do, mostly because if you guys are curious on maybe trying to get the most bang for your money when playing guitar, we can actually figure out what it does. Let me actually go into here and reopen something. We're going to connect to this guitar, and I'm going to go into you can kind of see what's going on here, a little bit of my setup as well, when recording for guitars. Out, gonna go. Thank you very much for the donations, Gwen. You're really awesome. Thank you. Okay, so basically what I have, it's kind of a non-standard setup with a Line 6 Shuriken. You do have the option to basically go through a Line 6 Helix or a Helix LT, which is kind of the preferred setup because obviously they are made by both companies here. What I'm actually recording through though is a Fractal FM3, which is I didn't really expect to get a Line 6 Shuriken when I got my FX processor for guitars. Reason why I chose FM3 is because I felt that it actually sounded a little bit better than the Line 6 Helix. And so that kind of informed my decisions from there. And also it's kind of tabletop. It's right here in front of me instead of being a gigantic like floorboard that would kind of get in the way of everyday life. I can actually use this also as kind of like a soundboard for my computer as well. And so that's basically this amplifier setup. We're gonna like run through settings here to kind of do explorations on this. And this is the Line 6 Shuriken interface. This is the TeknoAXE interface that you can use to switch through guitars. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to turn my guitar on. This is actually right now running on magnetic pickups because there's two different sets of pickups here, right? So you've got the standard magnetic pickup here. This is on the bridge side, and this is actually a really good pickup for what it is. To be honest, like you've heard this in songs because this pickup actually does really well, and it's good for metal specifically. There's no bridge, there's no neck pickup. It's a really simple design, so you just basically have the bridge pickup. But then the VariX side of things that actually form, basically it actually mimics different guitars, are these things right here, right at the bridge. So instead of the magnetic pickup right here, when you go into the active side of things, you get these little piezoelectric pickups that are bridged it's like saddled into the bridge right here, and that's what basically produces the sound. So if I go into one of my favorite settings on here, I need to mess more with the actual settings here. I'll go into this is one of my favorite settings. You've heard this a lot on my music. Here, what I want to do, I think I want to just that off. that actually works. All right. Okay. Okay. One of the things that I really like about this right here is that, and especially dealing with when I've dealt with like the Floyd Rose tremolo, this is basically a fixed bridge. So that means that it's extremely easy to tune. You don't have like dive bombs that you can do with like the Floyd Rose tremolo, but in the past I've found that it's been a pain to basically tune the Floyd Rose, and so it's really good in that way, and in this way it's also easier. So if you want to do like if you really want to do a natural like down tune, like a drop D or a Dorian minor, you can basically just mess with the pegs and just tune it that way. And thank you once again for the one. Thank you for the donation. But yeah, so doing like an alternative tune here is extremely easy, and that's one of the things with my Gretsch. I decided that I wanted to do just basically standard tuning on it. But okay, so we have basically standard tuning here. It's basically E to E standard tuning on the Shuriken, right? Now, okay, we're gonna switch now to the line 6 piezoelectric pickups. And you're going to see that when I switch it on and start playing around with the settings, it'll start automatically communicating to the computer. Because the second cable on this basically is got the standard 1/4 inch jack right here, and then you've got like a Ethernet cable that goes into a box that goes to a USB cable into. That's basically what communicates with the computer. So you can see the settings when I mess with the controls here. You can see right now I've got several settings here. I've got 2 knobs. The first knob basically selects between the pickup and the body settings of guitar. And the second knob right here at the bottom basically is alternative tunings and that. What's up, HG Gaming? How are you doing, HG? Oh, HT Gaming. How are you guys doing? Okay, so all right, so we're gonna kind of show how this goes. I have several different amp settings that I kind of mess around with here, because the beauty of this is that not only does it do like distorted sounds really good, but it also does clean sound. I've got Stratocaster settings that I'm planning on using for like rhythmic guitars, like in a funk song, for instance. All right, so we're gonna go into the Lester model, right? And we're gonna use standard setting right now. Compare that to the magnetic pickups real quick. So there's a little bit of a difference. I guess you could say that like the character changes from model to model. So I've got basically what I've got here is your standard Les Paul setup, I guess. This is like the pickup right here. Selected for bridge. If I go to another setting, you can see I can select to the neck here. Good. I was. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Good to know. Some people like change their names, and sometimes it's a little hard to keep up with. That's good to go. So that's like a neck pickup, right? That's basically good for like doing really good lead solos and stuff like that. Got like this is more like a junior setting. So these are like P90 pickups, which are kind of the previous version of the Les Paul before they got to their standard, right? And there's just a little bit of a difference when you're doing like distorted. I'll go back through these settings to kind of show you the differences when we get into like the clean settings and stuff like that. Here we have a Fender. What is it called? It's a Les Paul Firebird. That's what it is. We have basically. You can hear like the little differences between the two right here. Firebird is an interesting one. Obviously, with Firebirds, there are models with the center pickup here. But one of the things that you can actually do is you can mess around with the position of pickup here, right? I had here this pickup at 1.6 inches from the bridge, but you can kind of mess with that so you can have like a center line pickup here. I don't know if that. Versus if you go back to 1.6 inches, goes back to the same. So the position kind of like affects it affects basically the sound of the pickup in that you get a little bit more of the bass buzz of the neck pickup, but not quite so much that it's like overpowering and that. So that's not all. We've got basically Fender Caster models or Fender Stratocaster models. With this one I haven't quite perfected yet. This is where like I'm not going to get too chunky on this because like a Fender single coil is really harsh, but I'll just kind of show you how that sounds. You hear that really really harsh squeal at the bottom edge. So it's a very twangy kind of feeling that's more like suited for country. And also this is where like the funk comes in, where you have like a bass guitar doing like the thing. You've got this little like rhythm thing going like. Matter of fact, let me go ahead. Since we're going into like the Telecaster and the Stratocaster stuff, get a nice tweed going on here. There's so many selections here. Like I've actually built a couple settings on this, but the thing about FM3 is it's got like hundreds of cabs and it's impossible to choose one. It's like you have to go through all of them and audition them. Kind of like interesting, say the least. The juicy lead. Nope. We want a tweed. Where's the tweed? It actually set up for. Do a small box. That might be actually the best thing that we can come up with right now. Studio lead. Let's do a studio lead. See how that. And let's do it dry. Do it dry. Very it's a very kind of like high pitched. I wouldn't say nasally, but it's like very bright and everything. There's probably a better setting here to basically do that kind of thing. Let's go with a not a 50 watt. Here we go. Tweet. There you go. And what are we on? I'm gonna go clean on this. You can hear the brightness of that tone. Um, we also have, you can ask the option to have like 2 different pickups selected, kind of like you do on a Fender. The Fender is normally like a 5 switch. You got 3 pickups and you basically have either the neck, center, or the bridge pickups, or like a combination of both selected. So I actually like that tone. That's I might actually use that. It's like a really good thing for like really laid back kind of. Got the center here. Again, a combination. And the neck pickups. You also have like a, you can actually select a Telecaster here. So already the versatility of this thing is kind of off the charts for me. This is actually, it only made sense that I got this because obviously with like the way that I deal with music, I'm all over the place in terms of genres and everything like that. So if I wanted to like do a metal track, I can do a metal track. But if I wanted to do something else like laid back hip hop or funk or something like that, this provides me the option. And you've actually heard some of this stuff really kind of shine through in like synthwave, for instance, like laid back synthwave, where I've got like just laid back like chords going on. So I mean, there's a lot of models to choose from actually. See what else we can do. One of the things that we do have is the ability to go like just like straight I mean, we have the ability to just like forego the body completely and just go into like the pickups here. It kind of works. We'll go back into our 63 setting. one of the other things that you can do is that you can actually change your tuning on the fly. So right now I'm in standard, right? Now I'm in drop D, actually Dorian minor. There's a couple more settings here. I'm gonna go down one standard, and then drop C. Baritone. What's up, UFO man? How are you guys? How are you doing? Drop A. And an octave lower, right? So just to kind of prove the point here. Old games like Mega Model U. Are you talking in terms of like music and stuff? Like, are we Mega Band stuff? If you're talking about like Nintendo style, I think that was still like synthesizers, which you can kind of do with this, but it's easier to do that kind of thing with like actual synthesizer plugins, which I do a little bit of that too. That's not all I can do though. I'm gonna go into more clean settings because it's wild what it can do. I did not expect this at first, but I set up this right here, effects chain, and basically what it is. Okay, yeah. All right, so as you can see right now, I've actually turned off the amp in the cab, and normally, thank you again, thank you. Normally, like if you try to play a guitar without an amp in the cab, it sounds really annoying. It's like a really flat electrical sound that just does not sound good at all. But one of the other things that this thing can do is it actually simulates acoustic guitars. So we're gonna go back down to that setting. All right. And as you can see, we've got ourselves an acoustic guitar. We're gonna go with the acoustic D. So does that sound like a real acoustic guitar? At least close to it, right? You know? Yeah. So for acoustic, like it's really good, isn't it? It's insanely good how that is. Pretty damn close and everything. And I will say that I did have to kind of apply some settings here. What I have right now is basically a basic EQ setting, kind of bringing out the top, and then I have it against the compressor. because there's like some things you can do to make the sound it sound better. I found like without like some sort of compressing thing and a little bit of drive, I've got a little bit of like reverb and enhance there, so it pops out the settings. So you got a compressor here, basically around 1:5 in ratio. A little bit of a clean drive there, esoteric RCB. Got an enhance, which is basically a stereo enhance, and a little, just a tad of reverb in there. Well, wait, that's not the only acoustic it's got. It has a 12 string in there as well. So it's got another acoustic guitar, which is this. There's a 12 string version of this. This one is kind of weird because it has a really weird bass kind of the transient sound going on when you hit the string. T-shirt is wanted to tell you thank you so much for have made my videos. Now, thank you very much, T-shirt. I appreciate you. And we have yet another acoustic guitar. Is this this looks like a Spanish guitar, but it actually sounds good as a regular acoustic. It has a little bit of a bass end though. Spaghetti Western tracks? It's possible. I mean, I could definitely do it now. Everything. You actually kind of heard me do a little bit of blues on the last track. I don't know if you saw that one, but we're gonna get into that though because the last track that I did on my channel used like a resophonic guitar. Like it's I don't know if you know what resophonic guitars are, but they're completely made out of, they were basically the first attempt in the 20s to basically be louder against a jazz band, right? And it became like kind of the go-to tool for like swamp blues and like old style country. So it works. It actually has its own like unique sound. We're gonna get to that because we actually have that setting here on the guitar. So right. So what else? Okay, so those are like the 5 acoustic sounds it's got. Pretty good. You can actually down tune these acoustic guitars as well. So standard again. So if you wanted to do kind of grunge style acoustics, let's actually go down to drop C, see how good it sounds. Baritone. Drop A. Drop A. I guess if you wanted a bass acoustic guitar, you can actually do that because we have octave as well. I don't know how does that sound? That is it is basically a kind of a really big down tune. And it kind of sounds like a bass guitar, I guess, in the acoustic range. All right. Is there anything else you want to say on the acoustic side? I feel like I've gone through all those settings here. So we'll go back to standard really quickly. There was one tuning that I haven't really shown you yet. It's because we're not at the place where it's best used. You got kind of like a jazz setting here. So, I mean, you can basically choose whatever you want, but these are kind of just random settings here. A Strat with an 89 humbucker pickup. I guess you can say that kind of mimics like a Mexican Strat, where they've got the humbucker instead of a single coil down at the bottom. Sounds pretty good. Actually, I think I played one of those at a Guitar Center once. It actually sounded really good. But a lot of these are kind of like hollow body guitars as well that you would normally find in like, you know, more bluesy styles of music. I haven't really got too much into like the settings of how this would be useful, but good. Here's where it gets wild though. That is one of the two Resophonic guitars here. And you can kind of hear there's a little bit of a twang to it. So you can kind of hear the metallic twinge to it. So we have one more tuning that we can play around with, actually. That is basically the tuning of what people use. It's basically an open major chord. I've got this, basically. It's a metallic slide. You also have a bottleneck slide. I haven't not actually mastered that, but maybe that'll work. Hold on. the metal one. The metal one works better with this. The second, this one is I guess it's the first kind of like iteration of these kinds of guitars. It's called a dobro. And the concept of it is that you've got this metal resonator in here that basically kind of focuses the sound and makes it louder so you can compete with. Back in the day, it was like large jazz bands and stuff like that. You have a kind of like a different version. It does. Well, okay, yeah. So what I did is that I changed the tuning as well. And then the tuning is basically just an open major chord. Right. We're going to go through these settings a little bit. You've got a banjo, if you want to hear that. These settings don't actually kind of like, I mean, I got to work on the settings for this one. And this is a National, which is a tricone, the tricone resophonic guitar. This is actually what I used in that last song. Yeah, thank you, Jungle. Awesome. So it has a little bit more of a fuller tone than the dobro. The National, it'd be interesting to actually compare how it sounds to what the real guitar is. Because this one is an actual thing. Like, this is actually on sale. It costs like $5,000 to buy. 5,000. All right, later, HT. Good having you stop by. Thank you. Wait, is there a storm going on in Florida right now? Is that what's going on? Just curious. I know they had one like about a month ago, right? But are they actually like experiencing another one? It. You know what is the funny thing? 200. Uh, is like okay. Like actually stopped playing guitar for 4 years. Like, and one of the reasons why is because I didn't quite have the setup to like record things very cleanly. Uh, because I don't know, like a lot of the guitar that I had was basically kind of like messed up. The pickups were the cable was not connecting correctly to the input jack. And so I found that the East West plugins that I had basically did a good job of basically presenting guitars without any sort of noise. Um, and the so so basically what happened here is I stopped playing for like 4 years, and then I picked it back up in April of this year. And maybe you'd be surprised at how well you remember how to play. Because I mean, I'm not the best, but um, just like playing, it's like really enjoyable, and I'm learning new things all the time right now playing. It's really enjoyable too. That's why you've heard the guitar so many times in the music lately, is because I can't stop. Like I pick one up, it's right here. Just pick one up, just to kind of um, you pick one of these a guitar up just to pass the time. You know what I mean? If you got nothing else to do, just go up, strum, and just kind of like do what you want. Think your settings. Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Miley? Um, think your fingers like that setting. They do. Like, okay, so this one riff that I did for the song takes just one string except slide, right? One finger did that. Then like your slide obviously basically kind of runs through like the chords and stuff. All right. So, I guess there's a couple more things that I can show you on this. Got the banjo. This is I'm gonna go through one of these days and compare this to the baritone that I've got, because obviously this is like a Dano Electric, right? Which has the same style pickups as the one that I've got in the back there, and you can actually mess around with the angle there, so there's like zero angle at the bridge there. Go back to standard here. No, you're right. It did actually like stepping back from the guitar, kind of like maybe I came back with a new perspective. You know what I mean? Especially when you're getting into like a variety of music, you want to learn like more than just a power chord. So, and I'm still learning on that one, but I feel like I have a on like maybe one or two different like chords that I can use for like other purposes. So go down to baritone real quick. So keep in mind I don't have an amp or speaker behind this. Here's the wildest one. This is a sitar. So you can use the slide, of course, with that. I don't know how accurate that one is, to be honest. But it's there. So if you want that kind of like versatility in your guitars, you can actually do it. Um, that's the overview of the guitar. Um, as you can see, there's a lot, and you could probably spend your entire life just kind of going over like the possibilities of what you can do with this thing, which I'm going to do. Like I said, I spent the money on this guitar, and it is one of the inspirations of keeping going. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to justify the cost, everything. Um, not that I'm doing pretty good though. I don't want you guys to worry about. I'm doing fine. But you know, it's like this is actually a pretty good passion of mine, I would say. So let's go back into Lester. We can go over basically what this is. This is it is a fractal FM3 edit. Basically what it does is it kind of goes interfaces into the amp modeler, which is on my desk right now. And as you can see, you can actually set different things. This is my personal custom setup for when I have things like acoustic guitars, which it's simulated and that. Yeah, world tracks would work really well with the sitar. I need to learn how to play a sitar for sure. One of the things that maybe I want to get in the future is a mandolin. I feel like the mandolins are actually pretty good instrument as well. Those are the ones that I think Led Zeppelin actually utilize sometimes when they want to sound all like travel-y and bluesy and stuff like that. So let's go back into. Do you want to actually build a sound here? Let's go over that. Yeah, thank you, the one. Thank you for stopping by. It's awesome. Anthony G, thank you for the $5. I recently used your launch of the Black Pearl for YouTube videos. All the best. Keep creating. Will do. Launch of the Black Pearl. Is that was like a lot of people like use like some of the old stuff, and it's really awesome. But I keep forgetting where that's from, like 2000. Hold on, let me find out when that was from really quickly. It really surprises me sometimes when things get, uh, you know, hold on, just Black. I made that song in January 14th of 2012. Wow. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh Rory Gallagher would bust out the mandolin. Yeah, yeah. And I think actually you can get mandolins for fairly cheap. It's not the most famous instrument. Like I think after the 70s it kind of went out of style, but I still like the sound. Um yeah. Okay, so just to show you what I'm looking at right now. Launch of the Black Pearl was made quite like 9 years ago, which is wild. That's pretty good. I'm glad you guys get used out. Like there's some of these songs that you guys use. People like still reference Grunge Beauty, and I'm blown away because that was made 10 years ago, you know? Like I'm glad you like it. It's really good. Let's go into an empty setting. So this is basically where you can actually kind of create your own music here. We'll put in input here, and we'll put it in output here. Straighten across here. So basically what we have is a straight wire between input and output. It's just so this is basically clean, basically as clean as you can get, because you got no amplifiers and no cabs here. You want to kind of have the amplifier in the middle because you've got stuff going on here. An amplifier here, and then also a cab, right? So we've got an amplifier and a cab. Basically, what we've got here is a really small tweed, mated with a really small speaker. That's a 4-inch speaker right there. Yeah, I used a lot of your older tracks. Water, Arabian Sunrise. A lot of viewers recognize my triple away the polish. Yeah. I think a lot of YouTubers and like content creators are basically defined by some of their like earlier works. I think that's probably the true for me as well. So this is okay, it's a really small amplifier and it's a really small speaker. It sounds like basically you're playing through one of those, what is it, those little pocket speakers? Probably a humbucker is not the best tool to use for that. Let me see if it sounds better with a Stratocaster. Okay. Interstellar or Winnebago, Runaway Photon are classic. Thank you. I want a compressor. That's the first thing I want. Actually, a gate and then a compressor. So hold up. Now we'll just deal with the compressor first, actually. So compressor. Turn up the gain a little bit. Yes. The threshold for sure. Put in maybe like a 1x4 compression here. Good. Good. Okay. Maybe up the gain a little bit so you guys can hear it. It's really quiet, isn't it? Right. But what we can do though is we can actually set the level to maybe on, this is the amplifier setting though. There we go. Oh. Hit it. There's not many settings on this because obviously it's a really basic tweed. Also, you can probably set the speaker level as well, but I think we've already done a good job with the amplifier. So the way I understand the FX chain, you have basically some of your modulation here, basically, and your reverb here. You can actually add another compressor out here. You also have, you can add a gate here. The compressor is the first thing out. And then also your drive and distortion kind of are mixed in before you get into the amplifier right here. So if I wanted like maybe a drive or distortion, I can get that into there. I'm gonna swap out speakers in a second, but we're just gonna play around with like distortion pedals and stuff like that. So this is, that is extremely low. And you can also do like stereo enhance as well. So where is it at? There it is. There. Enhance. What's up, Meat Vision? How are you doing? How's it going? And we're gonna get in another effect here, the reverb here. Just a little bit. Four-inch speaker. Can move that in. We'll do another compressor to see how that works. Compressor number 2. Ooh, that turns down the gain a little bit. Let's try and. Still not the best of guitars, but like I think the biggest challenge is getting up in the upper registers to kind of like be able to do stuff. Oh yeah, I'm glad you caught it. So basically, what the entire gist. I've been online for what, since for about an hour now. But basically, I'm just showing off kind of like what the this Line 6 Variants guitar. I'm gonna show it again. This guitar right here. Just basically showing off what it can do. And then also, we're just kind of going over kind of the basics of setting up like a setting on this, which is your amp sim device. And what I've got here is an FM3 amp modeler. Yeah. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Is there anything you guys want to see in particular? Do you want me to go back into the workbench to kind of modify the guitars a little bit? Or do you want to, what do you guys like are feeling like today? Let's actually add like not a resonator, a delay, maybe a multi-tap delay. Let's do just a delay here. You can actually do a delay on both sides as well. We'll go into okay, we're gonna go into Stratocaster. Yeah. So the other model that Fender is famous for is the Telecaster. So just it's a more heavy distortions. We can do that. I think what I'm gonna do is like we're gonna actually save this as something. Well, will be like a clean sound, but we'll just kind of start over for another clean sound. Okay, save that, and we'll go one step like the previous setting here, right? Start out scratch, right? And go into inputs here. Got an output here. Wire it up. You got a clean sound going on. Did it not work? Okay. All right. There we go. So a clean sound. So basically, I think what we should do is we just go for a Lester. I've actually got a custom Lester that I kind of put in the wrong settings, which is it's a Lester with an 89. Do I have something else that? Let's not do the 89. Let's actually let's do. You want to do a Shuriken? You can do one of those right there. It's like a multi-range pickup, or we can do we'll jostle around these two settings right here. So basically, you've got no body, but you've got like a humbucker on the bridge side, and then you've got like a Les Paul body with basically standard pickups down there instead of the gold ones. So we'll build a sound off of these two guitars. Obviously, the first things we want to get out of the way is the amplifier. And also, we'll just put the amplifier and cab back in. And with the cab, probably want to select something a little bit bigger than a 4-inch speaker. That is not metal enough. So we're going to go into selecting the cab. And as you can see, we've got a gigantic number of cabs that you can choose from. Like there are currently 1,023 cabs that I can choose from. Thankfully, a lot of them are 4x12, so we can kind of audition which ones we think are best. We're gonna go with this one real quick. Yeah, and then we don't have quite as many amplifiers to choose from, but it's enough. 283 amplifiers is quite a bit. It's a lot. It's we've got a lot. So I don't specifically know each one of these, but what we can do is we can kind of like go down the line of which ones we want and which ones are good and not. It's a nice, like, really punkish, or like really punkish rock sound. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go with this? This actually sounds really nice, even though there's like not as much guitar in there. It's like something that is maybe late grunge era. That makes sense. Level needs to be a little bit more, though. I'm not gonna. I do like that sound, but let's go ahead and. Here's one of the better things about these piezoelectric pickups is that you're not picking up any noise. I don't know if you noticed that. If I switch to the magnetic pickup here, you get quite a bit of noise here. This is the magnetic pickup. That's the magnetic pickup, and as you can hear, it's picking up a lot of the noise from both the microphone. Also, you've got all the electronic equipment here, and then And then also, you know, the computer and the screens, all that stuff is translating into noise into the pickup. So it's a nice pickup. But like, in order to like kind of make this work, you kind of have to add a gate to it. We're gonna do that just in case we want to use the magnetic pickup for this, right? So we're gonna put in a gate. That'll take care of that. I've got no hands on the strings right now, and there's no, without this, basically, you've got the noise. You still get a little bit of noise when you actually are playing. So that's I mean, that's not quite Stone Temple Pilots. Let's turn the Shuriken back on though. I like that better. This particular setting on this I like that better. Yeah. See if we need any compression here. So we're gonna put in a compressor. I don't believe so. Not there. That cuts down the fuzz a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Go into ratio down a little bit. Maybe 4. Put in the threshold above 31. So you can actually add the option in. Let's actually move these two right here. Drive. You can add it in a drive here if you want extra distortion. Not that one. We have not quite so many distortion pedals to choose from. You apply a fuzz here. It may work for some, but not for that. Let's actually use OD. Not too. Master fuzz. I don't know. Some of this stuff, like the distortion, sometimes is better handled through the amplifier. So. sort of works. Let me see if I can tone it down a little bit. All right, we'll go with that for now, because I feel like we can kind of like bring down the messiness when you kind of like bring this over here. I'm gonna compress with the second compressor here. Again, bring it to maybe a ratio of like 4. Standard go-to, I guess. I bring the level a little bit up, yes, and the threshold a little bit up as well. It is a bit bright. There's not quite, and honestly, I'm gonna have to learn a little bit more about the particulars of building correct settings for metal and stuff like that. There may be some ways that we can mess with that, though. Let's try this. Let's try this on this. Right. Okay. You know what this needs? This needs some reverb and maybe some enhancers. So we got an enhancement right here. I like it. Enhancer does good. Just a little bit of reverb. Let's see what that does. So that's a decent setting. Okay, I feel like that's a decent setting. How does that work? Yeah, let's see. Actually, see how it sounds on the Lester. Sounds a little bit better. Let's go. It sounds a little bit better. Let's go actually to the actual Lester model. We're gonna go down here. It sounds really good on the P90. So this right here is that P90 pickup that we're kind of going off of right here. still a little bit of fuzz that I kind of like want to kind of take out there, but maybe I can do that. You can actually EQ this stuff as well. So let's do a parametric EQ. Oh my goodness. Turn the Q on this all the way up. I want to bring this over to somewhere around 800, I think. Actually, yeah. 800 hertz. And then we'll bring this down a little bit. See. Kind of go to maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 hertz. I don't know if this is the best. I'll bring the Q up a little bit. Go to 3,000 actually. 3,000, 35. Love that. Still a little bit treble heavy. So maybe I can actually go into like the bass frequencies and bring that up just a little bit. Oh, that's a shelf. Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna save this as a thing. Say distortion, Les Paul. Because basically we kind of like modeled that around the Les Paul model. There you go. And obviously you can actually set more scenes for this. This is actually, we're going to actually call this scene 1, which is basic model. And so what I can do here is I can go in and I can select different scenes now and then kind of modify the scene based on like what I need for that. So yeah, and that's 507. I'm going backwards from like the end. So there's like a clear division between the actual presets and what I'm doing right here. That's it. I think that I've shown all there is to show. So if I do more of this like live stuff and everything like that, like definitely open for like any suggestions that you guys may have. Are you guys enjoying this so far? Okay. I think I don't know. I don't have anything else planned up. I might actually do some more music this afternoon. But let me know, guys, what you guys liked about this. You guys think better in it. Yeah. Yes. All right. Cool. So it was really good hanging out with you guys. I don't know if you guys want to see anything more out of this. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. I think what I'll do now is I'll sign off for a little bit. But one of the things I was thinking of trying to do is maybe doing more like variety with like these streams and everything. The other thing is that obviously one of the things that I did try out 3 years ago is I did like a radio station. where I was playing my music and stuff like that. And yeah, it was like a radio station where I tried to play all of my tracks, mixed in mixed in with all that, you know, like some tracks from, I think it's Argo Fox is what I partner up with, everything like that. I gotta learn how to basically make that more interesting, but I'll let you guys know in the future. But thank you everybody for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed that. This is basically what you guys are going to be hearing from here on out in terms of the guitars. And so my priority is to basically practice as much as possible, learn as much like speed running and like chords and like, you know, different techniques as I can, kind of take advantage of the different aspects of this guitar. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you everybody for hanging out. It was super enjoyable, and I will see you guys next time.